You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Cabral Concept. It's great to have you here today on this Mindset and Motivation Monday. I can't wait to get into today's topic because it's one of my favorite subjects out there, and that is creating your very own morning routine. Now, a lot of people right now have heard about morning journaling or morning routines and why many people feel that it's the secret to success. And why this topic came up for me today, why I wanted to bring it to you on the show, is because I was just on 2 interviews last week. Of course, I'll share those with you in the future. But they asked me, what's the most important thing that you can do to be successful creating a healthy wellness routine, a healthy body transformation routine, a healthy mindset, etc. And I said that you need to win the morning. You need to get your morning right, because if you don't, you're always playing catch up. And if you're always playing catch up the rest of the day, it leads to stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, because that's how you started your day. So if you need to try to switch gears, it's so much harder. It's so much harder to switch gears than it is to keep moving forward at your current pace. So what I want everyone to do right now is to first understand that everyone can create a morning routine. There's so many people out there, the first objection is, well, I don't have any time. Listen, I didn't have any time either for about 25, 26, 27 years before I started to create a real morning routine. Now, again, everyone has a morning routine. Your morning routine, whether you like it or not, we all have one, right? We all have a diet. We all have an exercise routine. The exercise routine might be no exercise, right? Your diet might be eat whatever's the most convenient, but we all have one. So we all have a morning routine, and unfortunately, most people are always playing beat the clock. So they're racing against the clock to get out of the house, to get the kids ready, to, sit in traffic, whatever it might be. When in reality, there's a much better way to do this. And again, I didn't believe that I had it either, but here's the thing. My life has never gotten less busy. If anything, it's gotten exponentially more busy. I opened a second practice. I have 2 daughters, right? And so things are a whole lot busier and more complex than when I was 25 years old. But back then I was always, again, kind of in chaos, running around, trying to get everything done before I left the house. When again, in reality, all of that could have been mitigated, and it is today. So here's what I want to share with you. I'm going to share with you about 10 or 11 of the best things that you can include with your morning routine. But before we get into those 10, 11 topics, I want to share with you how you can have the ability to actually make this happen in the first place. Because in my opinion, everybody wants to start the day relaxed. Everybody wants to be massively productive, but very few people are. And the main reason that holds most people back, in my belief, is they don't have enough time. Now, they might wake up later because they're groggy, they're tired in the morning. Well, there's a couple ways that we need to fix this right out of the gate. So obviously, you know that we do functional medicine lab testing, and we help people figure out why they're tired all the time. Is it a gut-based issue? Is it adrenals? Is it thyroid? Is it HPA axis dysfunction? Is it low B vitamins? Is it low vitamin C? Is it low zinc? What are the reasons why? And you can figure that out. I'm not going through that today. Today is episode 1242. So today's episode 1242, and you'll be able to find 1,241 previous episodes to help you with that. But what I want to stick with today is this. We need to get you to bed a little bit earlier, okay? So if you're leaving yourself less than 1 hour in the morning, you're not going to be able to create this oasis of relaxation for yourself each morning. And you might say to yourself, there's no way I can create an hour in the morning. Most people will be able to. Most people. I know that there's always going to be 0.1% that can't, okay? But that doesn't mean it's forever. It means that it's in your future. You just haven't grabbed onto it yet. You might not be able to for various reasons, right? Maybe again, I could think of many excuses, but I could also think of how to get out of those as well. So let's always stick with a can-do mindset rather than a can-not, right? So what I want you to think about is this. If your family, like mine, is going to wake up somewhere between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m., my daughters will wake up somewhere around 6:30 to 7, okay? Same with my wife. So what does that mean? It means once they're up, the morning's not really mine. We don't live in a 10,000 square foot house and each one of us has our own wing to the house. So we're going to be with each other that whole morning. And that's a great thing. I actually really love that. But I know that once they're awake, it's not really that oasis that I was searching for. And that's okay as well, because that's part of having a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. That's okay. So here's the thing. I know that I'm better for them and I'm better for everyone that I work with during the day if I get just a little bit of me time in the morning, just to take care of me. And I don't need more than an hour. And the hour includes me getting ready for the day. So again, like however many minutes that is, let's say shave, shower, get ready for the day. Okay, that's it. And then the rest of the time is mine. But I can do things during this process that I want to share with you. So what I know that I need to do so that I can serve for the rest of the day, try to do my best to serve my kids and my family, serve everyone in my practice, my team, answer questions, etc. Be the best that I can be. I just need that 1 hour. And then that 1 hour is typically some solitude, some quiet. So do I want to wake up at 5:30 in the morning? Not necessarily, but now I love it. And the reason is nobody's really awake at 5:30 in the morning. Some people wake up even earlier. I've tried waking up as early as 4:30. Not good for my nervous system. It's too early for me to get out of bed. I'm not the endomorphic body type. Doesn't work great. So could I sometimes do a little bit earlier? Maybe. But 5:30 seems to be the right time for me. My body will naturally wake up at that time as long as I get into bed between 9:30 and 10. And most nights it's probably like right around the 9:50 p.m., right before 10 p.m. I try to get in bed. So that's going to leave me, because now I have a great sleep routine. I fall asleep within 10 minutes maximum. So I get a solid 7.5 hours of sleep a night, and it's great sleep, and I track my sleep. And I'll share with you different devices that you can do without Wi-Fi, without EMF, if you want to do that in the future yourself. But here's the thing. That's what works now for me. I used to need 8.5 to 9 hours as I was recovering from all sorts of different immune-based dysfunctions in my 20s and early 30s. All of that's, fixed. Again, it was fixed by my late 20s, but I wanted to really set it in. So I continued to try to get 8.5 hours. Now, 7.5 hours, and then on the weekend, 8 hours. And it works great for me. Every once in a while, it might be even longer. So what I look at is this. Once I get my sleep, I'm good to go. Part of it is retraining the body. And I have all sorts of episodes on how to train your body to go to bed earlier. And you start by working back your sleep time 15 minutes each night. And I tell you why 9:30 to 10 p.m. is the best time of the day. I go through the natural diurnal rhythms. I go through how the lowest point of cortisol in the day is 9:30 p.m. I go through how cortisol begins to rise then again after 10 p.m. and how you should naturally be in bed as the sun is setting and it gets dark and naturally wake up as it rises. That will give your body natural energy, your brain and your mind natural clarity. So now let's get into the routines, okay? It just means this. If you live by yourself or, partner, spouse, it's just the two of you and, maybe they wake up at 8. Okay, you can get up at 7. Not a problem at all, right? You could sleep in a little bit if you want. Or maybe you and your partner kind of do your own thing in the morning. Oh, no problem. Or they're respectful kind of your time and you have theirs and you just do your own thing whenever. Okay, fine. But get your sleep. And then set aside 1 hour, okay? And if you don't have an hour, set aside a half hour. Something is better than nothing. Remember, if you're always coming into an argument with an excuse or a reason why you can't, that is how you're looking at everything in life, or at least the topic that you have a mental block around. And I don't mean that in a negative or mean way. What I mean is that there's something blocking you that's not allowing you to be successful in some area of your life. And we talk about it all the time. Spirituality, relationships, wellness, weight loss, and finances or career. So I have clients that are billionaires. I have clients that are professional athletes, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason I mention that is that that's obviously the pinnacle of what you can get to in certain things, right? So what I'm saying is, but some of them are really poor in relationships. Some of them are really poor in their health. Some are really poor in their body transformation or spirituality, but they're all in on that one thing. So they might have mental blocks around some of those others, but not around the area that they're already great in. So whatever in your life that you might not be great in, and how do you know if you're great in it or not? Well, it's kind of like the results are your life, right? So it's a lot of people don't necessarily look at it this way, but I've done shows, Motivation and Mindset Monday shows in this. But your life is already telling you where your mental blocks are. And I look for this all the time. I'm like, oh, well, like, what am I not happy with in my life right now? What's the block that's keeping me there? Is there a block, or is it simply time that I have to put in a little bit more effort, a little bit more work? You should never have to crush yourself in any one area to get the results that you're looking for. But just kind of think about like, hey, what is holding me back from a subconscious perspective? Okay, but that's a different show. So let's get into some of these exercise routines, or I should say morning routines, that I want you to add into your AM. Here's one of the most important things. I really believe this. Do something for your mind. Do something for your mind right out of the gates. And by mind, I mean do something that motivates you, inspires you, lets you know why you woke up. You're one of those crazy people now that gets up at 5:30 a.m. or an hour before you need to start the rest of your day. Okay, so you need to then reinforce the mindset that you're trying to get into where you want to take your life to that next level. So listen to a motivational podcast. Listen to a motivational YouTube video. Pick one of your favorite podcasters or YouTubers, etc., that you find motivation from. Listen to some older Dr. Wayne Dyer. Listen to some, Tony Robbins or some Les Brown, or even this Motivation and Mindset Monday podcast. And we do one each and every Monday. If you haven't listened to the previous ones, check those out. But do something while you're starting to get ready for the day so you can multitask. That enables you to get your mind right. Because if you do that, I'm telling you right now, nothing can stand in your way. There's no obstacle you can't overcome if you have a success-based mindset. You'll see the obstacle and then you say, okay, what is my way around this? I don't need to run through this. Let me think of a way around this. And that is the mindset you'll begin to take on. You can accomplish literally anything that you want to. The problem is, a lot of people want it today or tomorrow. That may not always happen, but that's okay. You can still get it. It just may not happen today or tomorrow. And you know what? I've found in my life, I've really learned in my life as I've started to mature a little bit, is that you don't even want it right away. You don't. You want the journey. It really is all about that. People have said it all the time. Of course, I'm not the first one to say that. But it is all about the experiences and knowledge that you accumulate along the way. The people that you meet, the lives that you touch, the people that you can learn from, and what you can absorb that hopefully you can then pass on to someone else. It's all about that. When you achieve your goal, what are you going to do? You're just going to create a new goal. So enjoy the process. All right. So get that motivation going. It's what I do. I put on a podcast or YouTube video. A lot of times it's a YouTube video. I might not be watching the video, but I'm listening to something inspirational for, 5 minutes or so as I'm brushing my teeth and splashing some water on my face and I'm, shaving. I'll listen to that. Okay. So that's important to me, and it's important to a lot of people that I know. After that, some people, and I'm going to give you some different ideas. I don't do all of them, but I have done all of these. I've done every single one of these, and now I've kind of created my own routine. And I've talked about my morning routine before in the past, but a lot of people sit down and journal, and I think that's a beautiful thing to do. You just listen to something inspiring so that you know the sky's the limit. You can achieve anything that you want to in life. Nothing is holding you back. It is a fresh start to a new day. Write down, journal. What are your goals? Well, for the next few hours, for the next few days, weeks, or months. Or go back to your goals. Look at your vision board or your journal or what it is that you're looking to create in your life. Why? Because that will naturally energize you. Those people that get excited for life naturally have energy. You show me someone that is bored with life, that is not interested in life, and I will show you someone that's depressed in both mind and body. Without a doubt. There's no doubt about that. It's really challenging. It is really challenging for you to be tired, run down, and not excited for life. I mean, of course, you have to get your sleep. You have to eat right. If you have projects that you're working towards that you're very excited about. And those people that don't, it's the exact opposite. Get all the sleep you want. Take all the supplements you want. But if you are not excited, nothing in life excites you, you're going to see a depressed body and a depressed mind. We'll talk more about that in the future. So journal or read your journal on what goals you have or want to have and achieve. Beautiful, beautiful thing. After that, you can begin to meditate, okay? How long does your meditation have to be in the morning? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 10 minutes is ideal. If you can do 10 minutes twice a day, that's fantastic. I mean, of course, could you do a longer meditation? Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you have the time, do longer. The longer it can be, the better. You can get into some really deep spaces, and that's amazing. For me, meditation, 10 minutes, binaural beats, fantastic. Really, really great way. I'll sometimes, though, do a standing Qigong pose, and I'll teach more about Qigong in the future, but a standing Qigong pose, I don't want to go too in-depth right now, but basically you're in a wider stance, we call it a horse stance in martial arts, and you have your arms wrapped around like you're holding the world. And you can look this up on YouTube. I can't go through it today, but it's a nice way of basically bringing energy into your body and centering yourself. Okay, after that, you can decide to read 10 pages of a book. You know, I always say read 10 pages a day, read 10 pages a day, read 10 pages a day. Why do I say that? It's because if you read 10 pages a day, and there are 30 days in a month, you read 300 pages a month, which is exactly one book for most books. That's the average. So what I tell most people to do is read 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, and 10 minutes before bed. That's 3 pages or just a little bit more in the morning, lunch, and at night. Why? Because most people, it would take 30 minutes to read 10 pages. Most people don't have an extra 30 minutes because, again, you can read faster than that. And you will with more reading. You'll be able to read faster, right? So I've gotten my time from like 4 to 5 minutes per page. I was a very slow reader, down to about 30 seconds maximum. But that just comes with time. And I've taught that before on a speed reading based show. So read 10 minutes, whatever you finish. If it takes you 10 minutes to read 2 pages, great. That's way more than most people are doing. You're still going to read a book in about a month and a half, 6 weeks. So if you read a book a month and it's on one topic that you want to become an expert in, by the end of the year, you'll have read 12 books on that topic. Trust me, you will be an expert in that category. You really will be, because most people have never read most people, let's be serious. Most people do not read more than one book a year. Right? I mean, let's be serious. Again, this isn't good or bad. There's no judgment. This is fact. Most people do not read a full book a year once they get out of college. So if you read 12 and it's all on one subject, and that's somewhere around 3,600 pages, 4,000 pages on that one topic, trust me, you will be an expert compared to the general population on that topic. There's no doubt about it. So you want to become an expert in something? Read a book a month on it. You will be that person. All right, the next part is this. While you're reading or while you're doing your journaling, drink a greens drink. So ours is the daily fruit and vegetable blend. You, of course, can use whatever you'd like. You could do hot water with some lemon. That's a really nice one. Hot ginger tea. Move that lymphatic system. You can squeeze your lemon in your greens if you want. You can do whatever you'd like, but hydrate your body at the same time. All right, so for me, what I like to do before all of those things you just heard, I'm going to give you one more before I talk about what I do. So another one is this. After you do those things, which are for your mind, right? Those are your mind. You did kind of your visualizations with your journal, your affirmations of who you are, right? Who you are. Who are you? You are who you tell yourself you are. That's who you are. So if you tell yourself you're weak or you're poor, or you're not smart enough, or you're dyslexic, or you're any of these things in any one area, you are reinforcing that on a daily basis. But if that you tell yourself you are something else, not that you're not that thing, because if you say you're not that thing, you're still that thing, because you're telling yourself you're not that when really that's what you're focused on. So you need to tell yourself what you are, and we'll do another show on that as well. But you are what you tell yourself you are, what you believe you are. So continue to affirm what you are. You are the creator of your life, and that was last Monday's podcast. So before, I'm going to recap this, but one other thing that you need to do, you just did a lot for your mind. You did a lot for your mind. Now you need to do for your body. I don't do a full workout in the morning because I love my workouts in the afternoon. That's when I choose to do mine. I have a couple meals on my body. I've done a lot of work for the day. I feel like exercise for me is like, it's almost like a reward. Like, oh, I get to go to the gym. I get to do these things. And it's fun for me. I actually really enjoy it. A lot of people do not. And that's okay. Like, I don't enjoy running. Running to me is not enjoyable. And I do it anyways. I don't go long distance or anything like that, but I do it because I also know partially it's good for my body if I do it with good form and there's no breakdown and there's no biomechanical issues with my knees, etc. And we're not talking about, I'm not talking about running 10 miles. I'm talking about shorter distances, just getting my body moving, making sure that I feel strong, all of those things that, people should be able to run a mile. I mean, you really should be able to run a mile. You should be able to. Again, you don't have to do it tomorrow, but you need to be able to have your body healthy and fit for life. And I just make sure every year I get older, every year I feel better, but I know there's still a chronological clock, right? There still is that. So what I'd like to say is this: do something for your body. I do body weight exercises. I get my body moving, but it's not a workout. And I've shared with you before, I'll share with right now again though, is I do push-ups. Well, I do chin-ups, push-ups, squats, lunges, and a boat pose. And a boat pose would be like a V pose, but I do that with a twist side to side. We call it a Russian twist in fitness. So it actually goes chin-ups, and then after that I do squats, and then I do push-ups, and then I do lunges, and those are walking lunges, and then I do the boat pose. And it's a nice little exercise routine. All it is, typically just one set, because I'm not looking to sweat in the morning. I do my shower first. I'm going to tell you why in a moment. And that's just get my body moving. I'm literally just invigorating my body. I'm circulating my blood because I've been lying down all night. I'm moving my lymphatic system. So that's a great thing. You can also do some dry brushing in the morning or some self-massage, some abhyanga from Ayurvedic medicine to move that lymphatic system. And that also does what? Well, it pumps up my endorphins. Gets my mind feeling even better because I just circulated oxygen. I got those endorphins pumping that happens from exercise. But if you're someone that needs to lose weight and you're not going to do your exercise later in the day, or you just know that the morning is the time that you need to get it done, you should be doing the exercise routine in the morning. It doesn't need to be an hour. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you are good to go. That's it. That's a big part. Remember, I talked about this. Focus on whatever your one thing is that you need to do right now. If the most important thing in your life right now is transforming your body, then we need to focus on that. That's the number one, right? So we do that. We make sure we get an exercise in. How many days a week? Pretty much every day a week. Every day. Why? Because that's your one goal right now. You don't need to wear your body out any one day, but you need to stay focused on that. You need to stay focused. And so when you do your exercise early in the day, what does it do? It sets you up for success for the rest of the day, which is really what we're talking about. Because if you focused on your exercise in the morning, you're less likely, less inclined to eat poor food choices for the rest of the day. Why would you want to ruin the exercise you just put in the morning? Of course, you wouldn't want to do that. That would not be a good choice. So you're going to walk more. You're not going to eat the candy at the office, the cupcakes, the cookies, etc., right? You're going to do the right things that you need to do to keep yourself moving forward towards your goal. But the only reason that you're deciding to do that is because you set yourself up for success in the morning. And that's exactly what I do. And I do the same thing every single morning without fail. And I do it on the weekends as well because I know how hard it is to get back into it on a Monday. So it's every single day. It's every single day. That's the thing. That is all part of routine. Try to go to bed within a half hour of that same time every single night. Weekends will be a half hour later. That's it. Probably sleep in a half hour later. That's it. So what I'm doing is keeping myself on routine to be able to live the life that I want to live and not have it dictated by other people's terms about how I should live my life. So again, I'm literally here to try to do my best for others during the day. And that's essentially from 7 in the morning to about 7 o'clock at night, when I'm getting my girls ready for bed. So 12 hours, it's not really mine, not a lot. I do get an exercise workout in there, which is great, and I get my walk in at lunchtime. But for the most part, it's not exactly my time. So what I do is I get that hour in the morning. I'm not going to go through my whole morning routine right now. I'll do that in the future, because here's the thing. You don't need to copy my exact morning routine, but I just gave it to you. Those are all things that I include in there. And the last one I'll add is this. Make sure you do spend a little bit of time, though, on yourself, getting yourself ready. There's nothing wrong with if your beard is trimmed if you're a guy, or you're well shaven, or that you do your hair, or you do any one of those things, and that you dress nicely. And here's why. Only do that for yourself, for no one else. It's all part of you and how you see yourself. And I was kind of debating whether I should add that one in or not, because it's not about vanity. It's not. It's about you do everything in what you believe in. Let me say that a different way. How you do anything is how you do everything. And what you do in your life and how you project yourself is a projection of what you feel on the inside, or at least what you're trying to create. So present yourself to the person in the mirror with how you want to be. And maybe that happens gradually over time. But what we're really talking about for this 1 hour is self-care. And you're worth it. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not worth 1 hour a day. Out of the 16 hours that you're awake, maybe even 17, you're telling me that you can't give yourself 1 hour? If you can't, we need to reassess. We need to say why. What needs to change that I can't get 1 hour for myself to do the things that I need to do, that I want to do in life to be able to propel myself forward? And I know you can do that. I have no doubt. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Motivation and Mindset Monday. If it was enjoyable, if you felt that it was helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone else you believe it could serve. Have an amazing day. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stephencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.